is Dice Manor. This is another one of those games from Arcane Wonders. We've slowly been whittling our way through the giant stack of stuff that they sent us to review.
It's a big stack.
The premise of this, I'll just read the introduction. World-renowned property developers, Mundane Manors Incorporated, are tired of making the same old boring dream homes. The corporate suits are looking to rebrand, and they've challenged their designers to dream big and create the most lavish homes ever imagined.
Hell yeah.
Money is no object, and the designer who's able to build and market the most magnificent manor will be promoted to Chief Inspiration Officer at the company.
Yeah.
CIO?
C-level. Awesome.
The way that this game is played, it's that we play over 5 rounds, as you can see on the board here, and we are going to, in each one of those rounds, we'll just take turns. Where on your turn, you're going to start by so there are 4 phases to each round: the bidding phase, the collection phase, the build phase, and the reset phase. During the bidding phase, we each take turns, starting by rolling our dice, and then taking a look at all of the numbers that you've rolled,
Yahtzee.
and choosing any number you rolled on those dice. So if I come up to my corner of the table here, so I could choose 1, 3, 2, 4, or 6 to place those dice in various places around the board. If I choose 1 or 3 in this instance, I will have to place both of those dice. I can't place some of that number that I rolled, whatever number I'm choosing to place.
You rolled multiple?
Because I rolled more than 1 of each of those. So whatever number you're choosing, you place all the dice that you rolled of that number.
Gotcha.
You also have these inspiration tokens. Everybody starts with 2 of these. There are ways to earn more of them. They are double-sided to remind you of what they do. You can spend them to increase or decrease the value of any die by 1. And from 1 to 6 rolls over, so you can go from 1 to 6 or from 6 to 1. You can double up and spend 2 tokens on the same die to increase or decrease the value by 2, or etc. and so forth. Or you can spend one of these dice to re-roll any number of dice once per turn.
Okay.
All right.
So that's the inspiration tokens. Now, when it comes to placing your dice, there are, generally speaking, 3 options for that. You can place your dice on one of the 6 blueprints that are available top and bottom on the board. Those blueprints, if you win a bid on a blueprint during the collection phase, you'll get to claim that blueprint, and then during the build phase, you'll get to add it to your manor. So with all of these, you'll see they're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I'm bidding with my 1s, I cannot place them on any of these blueprints except those. I could choose to mix and match and spend this second one somewhere else, which I'm going to talk about in a second, or I could double them up, put them both in the same place. I just have to place all of the ones that I rolled for that round if that's the number that I'm choosing to place for that turn. Does that make sense?
No.
So I roll all my dice.
Okay.
I choose any number that I rolled at least one of to place somewhere on the board.
Just one.
Just one of my one set of number, whatever number, like number that I rolled.
You said they have to go on that number that they are.
Yeah, I can't place those ones on a different number, but I can place them in a couple of other places, which I'm going to talk about, and I can mix and match. I could do one here and one here.
Oh, so there's other places.
There are other places to place dice, but I do have to place all of that number for that turn. I can't leave any ones in my supply.
Okay, gotcha. That makes more sense. Gotcha.
I already talked about blueprints. You're going to collect those if you win a bid. If other people bid here, let's say that Dustin or Eric or somebody throws a 1 on there. So I've got 2 1s. Dustin has 1. So Dustin's goes further away from the center of the board when he adds that 1 to that space. If there's a tie between like amounts, whoever was there first is still closer towards the center of the board. You can continue to add more dice in future turns to bids that you've already got. And if you get to where you have more than somebody else, then your bid moves towards the center of the board in that lineup. And then when we get to the collect phase, whoever won the bid will be the person who's closest towards the center.
Gotcha.
They'll be the one that claims that blueprint, and anybody else who bid on it but didn't win will get an inspiration token.
Gotcha.
If nobody bids on a blueprint when we get to the collection phase, that blueprint just gets discarded.
Oh.
So all of these blueprints will be replaced
Gotcha.
every round.
Cool.
That's the blueprints.
Yeah. Okay.
If you bid on advertising, which I kind of started to talk about a second ago, you can bid any number of dice, and it can be any value, but once you start bidding for the round, that is the only value you can then bid on advertising for the rest of that round. If I want to add stuff to this later, I can't add that. I can only add more ones to my advertising bid for that round.
Okay.
You can choose any number, but once you choose one, you're stuck with that for the whole round. Now, James was asking, can he bid 5s? So, the way that this works is this is a ranking system, kind of like the top, towards the middle of the board with the blueprints.
Okay.
This is now a ranking system that goes left to right. First place will be here, second place will be here, everybody else will be here. Now, on a tie, the value matters. So, if we both have 2 dice bid, James is winning that bid for
Gotcha.
advertising.
Got it. Okay.
But if I add another 1, the number of dice bid is what matters more than the value. So then I would be in first place for that bid.
Cool.
When we get to the end of the round, whoever is in first place is going to advance 2 spaces on the advertising track.
Ooh.
They will gain prestige points for each space that they cross there. So I would gain 6, that's the wrong house, there we go. I would gain 6 prestige over here on this track. These are victory points.
Okay.
I'd gain 6 prestige for crossing there. James would gain 1. And then anybody else who ended up in third place would gain 1 influence token. In addition to that, for every die that you bid, you're going to move your closest bonus die that many spaces to the left. And once these 2 cross, you get to add that bonus die into your supply.
Nice.
Cool.
If you've still got leftover movement, like say I bid these 3 at this point, I would move here, claim that die, finish my movement, and then I would move that and claim that as well. And that's everybody who bids, no matter where your placement is. However many dice you bid, you'll get to move your closest bonus die that many spaces towards your little house.
Cool.
Make that ad revenue.
So, that's blueprints and advertising. Those are 2 of the 3 places that you can place dice during the bidding phase. The third and final place that you can place dice is in your manor.
What?
What?
I do get to build a house.
So, during the first round, we're probably not going to be placing a lot of dice in our manors because all we have is an entryway.
Yeah.
But as we claim blueprints, we'll be in the build phase adding those blueprints to our house. When you do that, by the way, doorways have to always line up. You can't do any doorways that run into walls.
Makes sense.
You can rotate these tiles however you see fit. So I could do this. And the color of the tile only matters when we get to the end game.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter during the game. But once you've got a house laid out, I'm just putting some of these tiles in place, then during the bidding phase, when you roll your dice, you can choose to place some of those dice. Let's say I'm taking my 2 3s from that roll. you can choose to place all or some of the dice that you're placing for that turn in your manor. You always have to start in the entryway, because this is a tour. You're leading some people on a preview tour of your mansion.
Okay.
So you always start in your entryway. From there, you just have to go to some room that connects to the existing path.
Gotcha.
And you can fork off in different directions. That's fine. When you place... Oh, and for the other rooms, the number value on the die you're placing has to match one of the numbers so I couldn't do that there.
Right.
But I can do that there. When you place those, there is a handy reference. I'll just slide that right over there. At the end of your turn, after you have placed dice during the bidding phase, you'll look at how many dice you added to your manor in a contiguous path. So, if you placed one die in your manor, you'll gain an influence token. If you place 2 dice in your manor, all connected in the same path, you will gain 2 prestige points.
Ooh.
3 dice will get you 5, 4 dice will get you 9, and 5 or more will add another 2 to that 9 for every die placed.
Damn, okay. So we just want a really long house.
So you want to keep on adding to your house, and you want to keep on taking tours through your house, because you're going to score every turn you place dice here, and then during the collection phase, you're also going to gain 1 more prestige for each die that is in your manor. So manor tours, big way to score points. So I'm kind of jumping all over the place in terms of the turn order, because I wanted to make sure you understood why you were doing things. So just to summarize, the bidding phase, you roll your dice, you pick a number, you place all of that number somewhere on the board. The 3 options are blueprints, advertising, or in your manor. And you can mix and match between all 3 of those.
Cool.
On your turn. We keep taking turns rolling dice and placing dice until everybody has placed all of their dice for the round. Then we move to the collection phase, where we will start with number 1 and go up to number 6, handing out the winners their blueprints and the losers their influence tokens. Then we'll take a look at advertising. We'll get our rewards from that. Then we'll take a look at the end of round collection points for manor tours. And then we will advance the round tracker and start a new round. Take all our dice back and start a new round, where we will deal out 6 new blueprints and continue. At the end of the game, when we've done 4 rounds, once we get to round 5, we take 1 more round that's a little different. There's no more bidding on anything in the center. It's just manor tours. The rulebook says that you can do this simultaneously. For the show, we're going to do it 1 turn at a time, where you will roll your dice, place dice in your manor, roll your dice, place dice in your manor. You can still spend influence tokens. Any dice that cannot be placed. So say, for example, hopefully my manor is going to be bigger than this.
Nope.
No.
But say
Not if I have something to say about it.
Say, for example, I wanted to place 3s on this roll. I've only got 2 places to put those. So any extra dice that I cannot place, because I don't have anywhere for them, go outside the front door. Those are unhappy visitors.
Oh, that sucks.
Those come into play on a tiebreaker at the end game, like whoever has the least of them wins on a tie. Other than that, they just don't score you points, and any of them that you have, you will not get to re-roll on future turns to place elsewhere in your manor. By the way, I forgot to mention that in the building placement rules, you can't block your front door.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Once everybody has placed all of their dice, then you will take a look at all the dice that are in your manor and score 3 more points for each one of those.
Okay.
That's your grand opening.
Gotcha.
There are also then some end game bonuses where we'll look at the whole table. Whoever has the most of each individual color scores 12 more points.
Oh.
Second place gets 6. tiebreaker rules there, or tie rules there are weird. If there's a tie for first place, nobody gets second place points, and all tied players get 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That math works.
Yeah. And similarly, if there's a tie for second place, all tied players get 4.
All right.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
what they said in the rulebook. There's also going to be a similar bonus for whoever has the most rooms in their manor. 12 for first place, 6 for second place. And there's also manor diversity bonuses. There are 6 different types of rooms, which are those 6 different blueprints. Those are described with a little tiny icon next to the number. But if you can't see that, you can flip it over. It's on the back side. If you have and your entrance does not count for this bonus. Manor diversity, you will get 4 extra points if you have 4 different types of rooms in your manor. You'll get 9 points if you have 5 different types of rooms, and you'll get 15 if you have all 6. And lastly, if you have any leftover influence tokens, those will be worth 1 point for every pair that's left over at the end of the game.
Cool.
And then whoever has the most points wins.
Hey, thanks for hanging out. If you want to spend more time with us, do us a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and most importantly, head on over to twitch.tv/BNB Tabletop and give us a follow there. We play board games live every Sunday night at 5 p.m. Pacific time on a show we call The Board and Barrel. And we like to keep things interactive. You guys can influence what happens throughout the course of a game with our Buff and Nerf house rules. You can also make predictions on how things are going to pan out, play virtual bingo for a chance to win a free board game of your own, and heckle us and stuff from the chat. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you Sunday night.